Welcome to Slacker Studio, the place we go when we're slacking. I'm Jack.
And I'm Ed. The Slacker Studio is a podcast about all the things that we do when we're slacking. We'll be chatting about a variety of things such as gaming, movies, tech news, and future gazing. Jack, why don't you tell the people what we mean by the last one?
Right, future gazing. So future gazing is a part we're going to be doing later on, which is about anything we're doing life related, anything we're doing game related, anything we've put off but need completing, like my washing or my life. Anything under the sun. Anything that under the sun and can be done. Anything pushing the boundaries. Yeah, just to give you a bit of a hint, because this will also work for you guys later on in the show. Anyway, to kick off this very first episode, we're going to do it with a segment we're going to start every week called Beer of the Show. Ed, what's the beer?
All right, so for this week we've got a Brewdog beer. It is Zeitgeist.
Zeitgeist.
Idiosyncratic black lager.
You see, that I'm a little bit worried about that. It says black lager. What is a black lager? Is it like a stout or what?
Well, it's quite a heavy bit. So this is something we've both had before, but it was quite a while ago. And I'm just going to read the brief description from the can, because that probably tells you the most. So, black lager is rock. Zeitgeist takes an age-old classic, forgotten masterpiece, and gives it a contemporary spin. Yeah, a smoky nose with a hint of dark curacao.
I'm in love with the cocoa.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and open it. We'll see.
Yes,
it's a spicy
2,
finish.
1. Gorgeous.
Oh, God, I love that sound.
Let's see what this is like. Yeah, it really is dark. Was this the one I had when we had that evening where we watched the Euros and that guy showed his bum on the screen to everyone?
I think it was.
Yeah, nice job, Australia.
Yeah. For those that don't know Eurovision, we're talking about Eurovision.
Sorry.
Kind of before. Wow, that is a dark beer.
It's got quite a lot of head in it. Sorry.
Do you know what it looks like? It literally looks like the same as the Coke you've got on the table as well.
It does look like
It just
that.
looks like alcoholic Coke.
Actually, it's dark. It's darker than the cola I got on the table.
It's like Guinness heavy, almost.
It does. It looks really stout-like. There's no light going through that at all. Right. Cheers, bud.
Cheers.
Ooh, I like that.
Chunky.
Now,
I see what they mean about spicy aftertaste or whatever it is.
God, and now we've got this beer rating scale that we pulled out of our ass, and it's from 1 to 5. 1's like, I hate it, I'd never buy it again, not going to finish it, sucks. 2 is vaguely drinkable, but I'd only ever get it if I actually had nothing else. 3 is like, it's enjoyable, but it's not special. 4's a firm favourite, one we go to, and 5's like, oh my God, beer's God!
That is what we're aiming for every time.
That's what we're aiming for. However, I'm going to give this another taste before I give it a go. 1 to 5.
I really like it. I don't know whether it's something I would drink more than one of.
Yeah.
Like, I originally bought a 4-pack and it's taken like 6 months to actually drink them. So it's not something I've gone back to quickly, but it's nicer than I remember. It goes well with our snack, I think.
Yeah,
which
it
is
totally does.
Chili rice crackers.
Yeah, it really does.
Because it's pretty... nice bit of crunching.
Crunchiness. No, I do like it. I think it is the smokiness I'm kind of getting, but most of the time it's kind of like more of a peppery taste.
Yeah, that's it.
But it's nice. It does taste like a porter. I'm going to give that a 3, Ed.
I think I'm going to go the same. I do like it. I just don't love it all the time.
Yeah.
And it's a one-off.
It's not sessionable. It's like you're sitting down.
No.
You want to put an Overwatch, watch a film. You're like, I'll get the Zeitgeist out. That sounds good. Brewdog Zeitgeist, an overall 3 from us. Cool, right. So let's crack on with the rest of the show. So what have we been up to this week, Ed?
Yeah, so a bit of a summary. We went to see Avengers on Thursday, which was kind of the launch day. We'll talk about that a bit more later in our movies section.
Yeah.
And that, which short summary, really good. Lot to talk about, and we will try not to spoil anything.
Yeah, we're going to dance around it as much as possible, but we'll kind of like express our views on it. However, for what we've been up to this week as like, both mates, it wasn't actually the film itself the film itself was awesome, but it was what happened after the film, right?
Yeah.
This was the weird thing. So, I went to Hayward Heath to meet Ed. Ed picked me up. We went down to see this film. It was great fun. But then Ed has to drop me home. And by this point, it's like, what, midnight? Must have been
pretty much,
midnight or something. Yeah. And so we decided we'll drive back. And there's this long stretch of road across this roundabout. And we're going down. I'm just chatting away to Ed's girlfriend. And then suddenly, an emergency stop. Like,
Yeah.
how did you originally see this guy?
So there was a vague reflective bit on this guy's jacket, and I think I caught a glimpse of that, and I was just like, this is not right. And then I'm glad I slammed the brakes on when I did, because there was some guy in the middle of the road stumbling about.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a bit weird. Jack actually did get out the car, just check on the guy, because this guy ended up like pretty much on his face on the pavement. And this is a busy road, by the way, 50 miles an hour, straight line, pitch black. And it was just odd. So Jack then got back in the car. The guy seemed kind of pretty out of it, wasted pretty much.
He was gone. So I got out of the car, spoke to him. I said, "You're right." And he goes, "Oh, drink." I was like, "Oh fuck. Okay, right. Well, you're bollocks then, mate. Okay, no problem." Well, okay. In that case, he wasn't violent. That was a weird thing. But I got in the car and that was it. He got up and he just started stumbling off, like you know that drunken speed. Well, I say drunken speed. You think you're going fast. You're not. You're kind of going fast, but in all the directions all at once.
Yeah.
And this guy was literally stumbling into the road. So the first port of call, we tried to call local police. And local police, of course, you know the haunter. "Hello, this is Surrey Police. I'm really sorry, but we're not here right now because we're all enjoying watching the telly, watching neighbours having a cup of tea. You know, you might be stabbed. If you're being stabbed, call 999 and we'll get to you as quick as possible." So we weren't being stabbed, but 999 was the appropriate response, not 911.
Yeah, this guy was going to get himself killed or cause an accident because, I mean, it's a straight road. There's a few pedestrian crossings, so there's things to hit if you have to swerve.
It was nuts. And so we did. We literally followed this guy. I called the emergency services, got the police. But when I was talking to this lovely lady and we were trying to position where it was, she was like, "Okay, tell me updates of what this guy's doing at every moment." And this is where it kind of got funny because the guy was literally like Benny Hilling all over the road.
Yeah.
It's like, "Oh, he's fallen over. He's gone back up again. And he's gone into the woods."
It's like Jack's trying to have a serious conversation. Like, inform this, like the lady, the 911 operator. Is it 911? 999.
Yeah.
We're English, damn it. Like, what's going on? Okay, yeah, so we're on this road. Oh, God, he's in a bush again. Yeah. It's just like, okay.
Can you describe what he's doing now? I can hear screaming. He's punching the tarmac. Why is he punching the tarmac? Because he fell onto it and he's angry that he fell onto the tarmac. But long story short, we followed this guy for ages, kept on going into the road so cars would pass us. And then eventually, not just one police car turned up, but like three, all at the same time, all came rushing by. Came out, made sure the guy was okay. The guy came over, asked us what happened. But it was the weirdest thing, because I'm not going to lie, like we just watched this big superhero film. And after that, we did feel like superheroes on our own way. We stopped a drunk man getting hit by a car.
Yep.
Yeah.
The weirdest thing was, so I actually drove the same way to get here today, and it was a long way that we followed him for. Like, it was really far.
Yeah. He stumbled out of Boris Arms Road and he went up and he went past this big Esso garage and there was a roundabout, and that was the thing I was worried about because, you know, being on a road, at least we can control the traffic behind, but this guy was really booking it behind us. That was it. Yeah, that was the... So what we've been up to this week, we saved a drunk man from drunk shenanigans. I think that was about it in terms of what we both done. How about your week in particular, Ed? What have you been up to?
To be honest, it's been quite a busy week, especially with work.
Yeah.
A few late nights. I did a bit of live streaming. It was but not the most particularly interesting thing. It's my first experience actually having to broadcast a event live. I've done plenty of live camera mixing stuff, but it was kind of all local, and this was an added layer to stream straight to YouTube. So that's pretty cool. I guess it's a nice thing to learn. I'm kind of a techie person. Oh, by the way, I kind of edit and film videos for a living. So that was good fun.
It's cool. It looked really fancy, actually, when I was seeing it on YouTube. You're like, "Hey, just click this random link." I'm like, "You're behind the camera. Why can't I see you?"
Yeah.
You're like, "Because I'm doing the filming." It's like, "Oh,
yeah, it's
Ed's
kind of
there
be
on
as
YouTube."
quiet as possible.
And that was really cool. Also, I think what's really cool about your job in its own way is that you go to all these places, even though, like, you know, you travel to Spain, but you stay in the hotel
Yeah.
to film like things in the hotel. It's still cool that you kind of zip around.
Yeah, so I'm offshore Romania next week, but so I'm three days in Romania. We're going Tuesday morning, back for late Thursday night. But whenever I go somewhere, and I do seem to go to a different country a few times a year, maybe six plus, but it doesn't really matter where I am. It's still the same thing. It's just another office building in another country. You get off the plane, go to a hotel, go to the office, film, and then come back. It may as well be London. It doesn't really make a difference to me.
Yeah. So, you've been busy in work. How about busy in life, sir?
Stuff and things, like the only exciting thing, well, it's pretty exciting for us. Finally got a new sofa. We've had the same kind of a 10-year-old sofa bed, which has kind of been a free
Ratty,
gift. Yeah.
Cum drenched.
I mean,
that's my fault after I came over that one time. I'm sorry, I got excited.
Yeah.
It's not often I get to visit
Probably shouldn't tell people about that one.
I have to. This is my mistake, and I own up to my mistakes. But no, you got a new sofa, and is it like a bed one, do you say?
No, so it's actually a proper sofa this time.
That's a proper sofa, not a bed sofa.
Yeah, that was half the problem. Is that when you get something that is not designed to do one thing,
it's not properly
It's not very good at it. So a proper good sofa, brand new, it's absolutely lovely. Like, I know it's a ridiculous thing, but it's our first house and we have actually got a sofa in it now, so that's good.
That's good, yeah. No, you need it. And that's like the communal point of the flat as well. Like, I mean, I'm hopefully going to be getting a flat soon, so that's what I'm always thinking about is like, where's the communal point going to be? Is it going to be in the living room? Am I going to have a proper sofa? Am I going to have a big TV? Or am I just going to have like a little cupboard with my computer in, and that's where I kind of stay, and the rest of it's whoever else is living in the flat at the same time? But that's cool, dude.
All right. So you might want to just come a little bit closer to the mic.
Sorry, there we go. No problem.
This is good old episode 1 for us. We're kind of still figuring things out.
Yeah, this is it. It's this all started to kind of a little sidetrack point before we go into our next point of the show. How I guess this started. Me and Ed became mates in secondary school, and Ed was like, I listened to this podcast. And I was like, what the fuck is a podcast? And this is a long time ago. This was what, 2005, 2006? Was it earlier than that?
Yeah, it must be, because I started... So the podcast we're talking about is Taverncast. I first started listening to that in probably 2005 or early 2006.
Must be when WoW came out.
Because, this is it. Because it started when WoW first released, which is, 2004? November 2004, I think, which is ridiculous, by the way.
Yeah, think about it.
And then... that was kind of a big part of us growing up and maturing, I guess.
Yeah, because that was the thing. I still remember the day you got me to first listen to it. I was like, this is kind of cool. So it's like a recorded radio show, and it kind of chronicles. And what was nice about it is that as you heard more shows, you could see how other people have changed over time, or what their hobbies are, what their interests are. It's like a time capsule in itself. It's like this being the first episode is also kind of like I don't know, it's a weird kind of microcosm of all the things that kind of made us as mates. We did IT together, which I was shit at, and, we were both absolutely shit at. No, actually, you're better than me. I can't say that. Mr. Richards, bless him, did everything he could to help me scramble for my GCSE. But, that's the entire point. It was it's awesome that it's got to this point now that we're making one. And, we're always learning stuff on the cusp and on the move, and that's what makes it so special.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, we've kind of listened to a few different podcasts over the years, and some very long-running ones. Like, the thing I've listened to for the longest is probably World of Warcast with Starman and Renata.
Starman!
Yeah, that's still going. That's been going almost as long as WoW's existed, and they're still going. So it's kind of... that and a number of other things. I've learned a lot of what I like and what I don't like from podcasts, and we're intending to kind of do our best with this one.
Well, that was the thing. Taverncast really kind of set the precedent for us. And then when Taverncast kind of went away, I started listening to things like The Instance, which is another WoW podcast with, I think, Scott Johnson. And, recently you got me into Lagging Balls, hence, Gator, the community, Thorn and Fist, and all the wonderful people there, Frasley, Crocodile, so many damn names.
And Ali as well.
And Ali, especially Ali, yeah. That's the thing, like getting to know all these people and that community in particular going, just do it, just make one. And even Kevin Smith, I listen to a lot of Kevin Smith's podcasts, and Kevin Smith's always saying, hey, look what we've done with podcasts, we now do live shows. And I'm not saying that you guys can do live shows or anything, but the fact of just making it and doing it, right now is such an interesting precedent for us, because it's something we could do bi-weekly and stuff. So just I know it's a complete sidetrack of what, we've actually had on this document plan, but I thought it was something that definitely needs to be addressed, because it is cool. This is really cool to actually do this. Yeah,
like it's something we've wanted to do for a while, and we're finally there. All right, so let's actually get on with the rest of the show. Should we? Let's go on to actual movies. And talk about the Avengers.
Yes, let's talk about the Avengers. Spoilers or no spoilers, that's the thing for our listeners, because some of these guys will be like, I really don't, I want to listen, but I don't want to listen because there's spoilers in it. I think we could dance around the point without giving anything away. So my initial thoughts going into this was, it's just going to be another one of those big Avengers Assemble where all these characters are going to have small little bits of lines. It's all going to be...
Squirrel, sorry.
Yes, squirrel outside the shed. Yeah, so we're actually recording this in like a summer house out the back of my house. So you might hear the occasional bird or two squirrels fighting or an owl trying to carry me into the sky because I'm like 5'5" and an edible meal for it. But yeah, I thought that all these characters were going to get like individual lines. It's going to be really, really quick, snappy. So Hawkeye would shoot a plane down and he'd be like, "You're a toast," or something really kind of over the top. Your toast is not something that Hawkeye would say.
No.
Shot down an alien, but
as it turns out, this is an expression I had from someone else. Hawkeye is so not appearing in this film to take a line out of Monty Python, I believe that is. Yeah, he's nowhere to be seen.
Hiding.
There's Ant-Man was also kind of missing out in action. They're kind of briefly referenced at some point, as I'm sure you guys will know. We'll go to the end of the credits because there is an after credits thing.
Yeah,
obviously.
there is.
I loved it. I think it was surprisingly tough watch, actually.
It was, yeah, really tough watch. I actually think that Hawkeye's collecting his arrows from the Avengers. He's still trying to find them all. He's going through deep space trying to find a few that's been lodged in the legs of Thanos' friends.
Yeah, talking of space, I think the moment the Guardians are introduced in this film, that was one of my favorite sequences.
So awesome. I mean, that isn't a spoiler in itself because that's in the trailer.
Yeah.
Right? But there is so many cool interactions. That's something which they really nailed. There's so many characters in this, and there are characters that they even brought back.
Yeah.
Right. There's a few that kind of stand out for us. Yeah. And it's insane to see kind of how they interact. How the script is so tight.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. You're not bored. It's such a long film, but there's no boring parts of it. It all makes sense. It all has a place. It's all quite story-bound, but it actually works for their individual characters, which is amazing.
Yeah, I think this was directed by the Russo brothers, Anthony and Joe Russo. So they did, I think it's Winter Soldier they did, and then they also did the Civil War. So they've kind of...
nailed darkness.
Yeah, they've done it pretty well. They went from Civil War straight into this. They were actually planning it during Civil War. It was kind of like 10 months of build. I was listening to an interview with them yesterday on the Empire Film Podcast, which is great, by the way. If anybody is a kind of a movie film lover, definitely check that out. Really good weekly podcast. But yeah, there's a lot of work gone into it, and they're now kind of in post-production of the second one. So my recommendation is go see it, especially if you've seen all of the 17 other Marvel films. You'd be stupid not to see this one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's worth it. It's like, well, what it was 3 hour long. It was quite long.
It was a chunky film. Like I definitely thought it was going to end sooner than it did at one point, but it was good.
Yeah, it dragged on. It's I say it dragged on. It didn't really drag on, but it was taxing.
Yeah,
definitely taxing. I'd say out of 10, I'd give this a solid 7. I mean, I'd probably, to be honest, I might give it an 8 just for the sake of the amount of content they brought into it.
Yeah, I think for the sheer. Yeah, like you say, number of characters. I mean, God knows how many characters there's in here, but I'd agree with 7. I actually can't say it's one of my favorite of the Marvel films. No. That might be just to do with some of the content in there, but I like it. I did really enjoy it, and I am very much looking forward to the next part. I wish it wasn't next year or whenever it is. But...
I wish it was closer. I wish it wasn't given the Star Wars treatment.
Yeah, I mean, they're still doing post on it. This is the thing.
So
they were doing the press tour for this, and then they go straight back to do post on the second part, which is Avengers 4. We don't know what the title is, which apparently is because the title for the next one is a spoiler for what you see in this one.
Well, I mean, that's the nuts thing. So Ed does a lot of video editing, and he is the video aficionado. I'm a VFX artist, so something at the end of the film that I watched out for was all the studios that were working on this Marvel film, and so many of them that are based in London. Your frame stores, your double negatives, all these sorts of things. It's insane the amount.
They're literally down the road from where you are.
Yeah, there's so many that were on it, and it's just insane. And I was thinking, well, the post, if that starts, that's just another year that those guys are going to be working on another massive Marvel film. So many companies worked on it this time around. I mean, they always do, and I always look out for them, but my God, I think the quality control that must go on in those places is nuts, because everything has to be fluid, and you're going from not just one place, but, you know, if you're getting different shots from 7 different places, it's like basically making a puzzle with different people all in different rooms with different ways of making said puzzle and making sure that when it all comes together it's the same.
I mean, there were not only that, there was like 8 or 9 different countries used in this thing as well. Like it's one hell of a complicated product put together. Nightmare. Yeah. So yeah, our recommendation is definitely go see it. Why wouldn't you? Especially if you, like I say, you've seen all the 17 other films over the last 10 years.
Absolutely.
Definitely go see it.
Yeah. 7 out of 10. Go watch it. Slacker Studio approved.
Absolutely. That's the first film to get a Slacker Studio approval.
Yes.
So actually, while we're on the subject of movies, I think the next thing I'm likely to see is actually a Netflix show, Lost in Space. It looks rather good. We saw a trailer for that the last time we went to see, I don't know what we were seeing in the cinema, which is just out. What I normally do when I'm going away, I actually I borrow my girlfriend's Samsung tablet and then load up all the Netflix stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, I think that's something you're going to watch at some point.
I will. I mean, this is the thing, because my commuting from London to where I live in Sussex takes me about 2 hours each way. It's quite a hench journey, so I have a lot of time to kill. So actually, I've watched so many films on Thameslink Railway just because I've downloaded them to my Netflix during lunch. I'm going to watch like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Is that the one? It's so cool. It's it's an awesome film. But all these different films, all these Netflix series, is just keeping me sane whilst I travel in and out of work. But totally up for. What do you call it? What is it called?
Lost in Space, which is one of the latest Netflix originals, I do believe.
Lost in Space!
I'm not quite sure whether that's how its theme tune goes, but
it should do.
It should do.
Should do. Welcome to Netflix, Lost in Space!
Is that
then serious.
Yeah. What is that, like Sean Connery's movie voice?
Yes, Sean Connery here. The Red October standing by. We're in space now, looking for space U-boats.
Space.
I think we need to tune you a little bit, Sean. There you go. Sorry. Anyway, Explicit. What's the next bit?
We need more beer.
Don't let me lose me.
Actually, do you know what? Going back to the beer, I'm pretty much through it, and it is surprisingly growing
enjoyable.
on me. Yeah.
That's the weird thing, right? I was thinking about this.
I think it's because I'm not really thinking about it. It's enjoyable to drink. It's.
I'm getting a little bit more sweet notes as I go down the beer.
So on the can it says something about chocolatey something or other.
I'm getting that as I go through it, because I had that 12% beer the other week.
Oh God, yeah.
So I gave Ed a beer which is a 12%. I think it was called Yellow Belly Sunday. By Buxton Brewery, and not to get away from our Zeitgeist, which is today's beer, but this thing was pure glop. But my God, did you feel it afterwards? I gotta be honest, I actually struggled to finish it. Like, it was really tough going. It was sweet, heavy, like an interesting experience, but not something I would drink probably ever again. Like, but I have done some high percentage beers. Like, so there's another Brewdog beer, Mr. President, which I think that's 12% as well, but that's a totally different experience. So that was the thing. I had their Punk IPA when they first brought it out on tap, and when I asked for it, they said they couldn't give me a pint of it because of some sort of legal thing, right? They'd only give it to me in half pint glasses even. Right. So I was like, okay, I'll have 2 half pints worth of this and a pint glass, please, because then legally I can then just pour both half pints. Makes up for it. But this thing tasted like vodka and fruit. It was insane. And it only cost me £2.30 for a pint's worth. It's funny, yeah. Was this when you were at uni? Yeah, and this was a long time ago. This is when I think Brewdog was really starting to get on the map. I actually really like the Punk IPA. It's something you can find in quite a lot of places now, and it's something I'd choose if I can. Yeah, definitely. All right, let's move on to kind of tech news, really. I don't know whether I got any particularly live breaking news this week. Like I mentioned earlier, I've learned kind of a variety of ways to live stream different things. And actually, that is something we will look into for the podcast at a later date. We kind of just wanted to get it off the ground without having to worry about streaming video at the same time. Absolutely, yeah. Plus, we are literally in a shed. A big wooden shed with... Sorry, the studio. We're in the Slackers studio. Yeah, it's a studio, Ed. Even though there's an Iron Man 3 poster on the wall. Yeah. Fluff. Hang on, I'm gonna get the camera out as well. God, this thing. Yeah, I've got my guitar in the side. I've got an old Sainsbury's Thing for Life bag. It's difficult to soar like an eagle when you work with Turkey's poster on the wall. This is it's a bit of a ramshackle joint, but to be honest, it kind of fits the name and it fits the podcast in its entirety. So I guess tech news for the actual building we're in. There is no tech. It's literally a wooden shed with insulation.
Yeah. I mean, an okay insulation at best. We've had the heater on in here just to to get it livable.
So tell me about your podcast, Mike, as well, because we've just been talking about this today.
Yeah, God. So rather frustratingly, we're actually sharing a mic today. We're actually using Jack's Blue Yeti.
Blue Yeti.
Yeah. So the kind of the meme microphone. It's the classic. Every fucking streamer has one.
I'm gonna play my ukulele. It's gonna be a smash hit on YouTube. This is what we're doing.
This is it. So I actually bought a relatively cheap microphone. It's a newer NW700. It's a little condenser microphone. The mic actually sounds really nice. The problem we're having today is that it needs phantom power. It's an XLR powered mic, which is kind of the universal sound connector, whereas Jack's is just a USB mic.
Represent.
And so I've got a power brick for it, which gives the mic power, and then it goes into my PC from there. And for whatever reason, it's just not getting power today. Like the power light flickers on, and then the mic works for a little bit, and then it goes, and then we get nothing. So we're sharing a mic today. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do about that. I can still return it through Amazon because customer services is great.
Sick.
And I might just go for an Audio Technica thing because I was looking at, I could just get a mixer, right?
Yeah.
But you've got a USB mic, which is great. It works fine. There's no point replacing that.
I got this for Christmas.
Yeah, right.
Did it?
Bonus of still living at home when you got it. Yeah. Don't get so big Christmas presents these days. It's funny. And anyway, so there's no point spending anything between £50 to £100 on a mixer when I could just get a USB mic.
Yes.
There's a couple of people who have recommended one of the Audio Technica mics. Thist was nice enough to recommend the one that they use on Lagging Balls. Balls. I'm probably gonna look at that. It kind of makes sense. The mic itself is like 60 quid, so
worth.
It makes sense. We'll try that.
Totally.
The other cool thing we did was we went to 4K at home. Brand new 4K Samsung TV.
Still jealous about that, you ass.
Yeah. It's so basically my girlfriend and I, we moved in together about almost 2 years ago now. And we we were originally on like a 20-inch crappy 720p TV monitory bullshit thing with a combined it was just terrible. And it was so close to our sofa, the old sofa, that was just terrible. And then we went to...
Is that recording on a potato?
Exactly.
No, it's just the TV,
it's just the TV. But so, we'd picked up from a supermarket, we'd picked up like it was a good TV. It was 1080p, not smart, but what was the point? We had kind of smart boxes going into it, so it was good. Did as well. But we're also just upgrading to Sky Q from BT TV because the choice is just drastically better.
Yeah.
That's another story as well because that is like well over a month late because Sky cocked up on that. But anyway, so yeah, the 4K it makes such a difference. It's an unbelievable difference. Apparently, if you went like kind of 50-inch and above, that's when you really that's when you really notice it. So this is, I think it's 42 or 43-inch TV, which is the same size as our previous 1080p one, but just see and I even upgraded the Netflix subscription.
60
yeah, 60 hertz. Yeah. So it's a solid refresh rate, like the full HDR support, which is really nice. Like colors are bonkers.
Sex.
Yeah. And because Netflix original stuff, most of it is available in 4K. You have to upgrade your subscription.
That's true, yeah.
But it was like another £2 a month, so I was like,
4K. Why not?
do it. So yeah, that's kind of the thing.
That's
so
sick.
So you wanted to talk about graphics cards?
Yeah, I did want to talk about graphics cards. My graphics card is poo, but for some reason it's still doing okay. So this is something I've been talking to Ed about for quite some time, and it's interesting because graphics cards in themselves have an innate nature of just every year. It's like, this one gives you 20% more power, even though it's going to be roughly the same price as the old one.
Yeah, it's like 20% more power than what? Like there's no way to compare it all. But anyway,
so I've got GTX 770 at the moment, which is one of those like 3 gigabytes overclocked. Oh yeah, which nowadays like
yeah, I mean it's a chunky beast. Like it's like
thing,
fucking meter long, 3 fans, sexy card. I mean, at the time,
I could knock out somebody with this card. It's that big.
Yeah,
like easily.
Yeah,
it's a felony charge card. But at the same point, it's never let me down. And like, I've played Skyrim at Ultra. I'm trying to play Kingdom Come Deliverance, but I have to keep it on medium or else it really jazzes out because it's just not. It's not,
really?
Yeah, now I'm kind of starting to see the effects of having a lesser graphics card. And it's really bugging me because I'm like, I love this game, but I really want to see all the beautiful.
Yeah.
And I can't make it beautiful. WoW's easy enough because WoW, even though the specs are going up for BFA, which we'll be talking about soon.
Yeah.
That in itself, World of Warcraft, all these older games that have been slowly built up engine-wise, they still retain quite good, so I'm still getting really high FPS on that, but that's the thing. Every time I go to try and buy a new car, there's either a newer one or people are saying that there's loads of things bad about the old one, or they're all being bought up for these damn Ethereum farms or whatever it is. And it's the same with RAM. It's so expensive.
Yeah, kind of tech prices have kind of gone up. It used to be that so we've both built our own PCs, so I did mine much more recently, but
hell yeah,
graphics card prices and RAM prices, I mean, at one point they were pretty much double what they were. Things are coming down. This isn't new. You'll see this all over the internet, especially if you've even tried to buy some new hardware recently. It's a bit bonkers, but I'm lucky enough that I managed to get a really good deal on a secondhand GTX 970, so I'm kind of a couple generations ahead, even though they didn't do an 8 series, but whatever. I don't think I'll be replacing it anytime soon unless it dies, because it's far too expensive to do so. So yeah, we're getting there. So both of us have got our own PCs built, which are running along nicely right now. Jax is about 18 size. Seriously, it's as tall as he is.
It's up to my knee. That's the thing. I mean, no, I'm 5'5". I don't know if there's like a different height thing over the pond but yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's up to my knee. It's pretty big. Like when I carry it, it does look like I'm carrying a big stone slab.
He is hidden behind the case when he is carrying
the case. Yeah, so talking about tech and stuff, onto gaming, because that's something which, a lot of the people that we're probably sharing this with will kind of...
Yeah, absolutely. So we were kind of you were talking about WoW a bit earlier, how it's really easy to run. So I've not really been playing it that much recently. I know the expansion's coming. I've kind of vaguely leveled what I want to level. I did start playing a Nightborn Warlock, which I do really like, but I'm not in love with it yet.
An illusion. What are you?
That's the only reason I picked it.
Do you call her Annie Illusion? Is that
I should have done. I should have called her that. So playing. I don't like the male models for the Nightborn at all. So I've actually.
But why
picked...
male models? No, but yeah, I had to zoom out in there. It's true though. That's I've got a mate who's like, oh, I love playing Blood Elf, but I only like playing Blood Elf females because I like the bum wiggle. I'm like, okay, fair enough, but you don't like the male ones because they're a little like,
Yeah, it's like if you're going to be staring at a butt all day, you may as well stare at a female butt.
Sunwell's my bae. I'm undead, as you can well imagine, because it's like, oh, my arm fell off, can't cast. But yeah, so you've not been playing it much, but
I mean, so I've basically mained a warrior since vanilla. The beer is gone.
It's lovely.
So I've mained a warrior. Isam and I, it's just kind of one of my many, it seems, online screen names these days. But yeah, I know that I will probably play him in the expansion in Battle for Azeroth. I always have. However, kind of towards the end of Legion, I actually made a point to level a druid, and I have to say I absolutely loved it. Yeah. Like, a lot of fun. The main reason I did it was because they are one of the best classes to play for farming materials, especially if you're mining and herbalism, because you can
forms.
The forms you literally can do this in travel form. So flight form.
I've never leveled a druid. That's the thing.
And it's okay. So obviously I was playing a warrior, and I really got into tanking kind of Lich King, I think. And I haven't really looked back. In fact, I've been leveling as protection for the last 2 expansions as well, because I literally cannot die, which is great.
Ignore armor, just ignore pain.
Yeah, exactly. Literally ignore pain. But I don't know. I might take the druid in first. I don't know.
I've had similar sort of things. So the last few weeks, I've been real debating about whether continuing my rogue. So when I started off, I had a rogue called Plunder.
Oh, yes.
Who's what you got me into. I started playing a mage called As Unite, and I sucked at the mage. So I was like, oh, it'd be cool to kind of be in stealth, because I kept on dying to rogues, and I was like, I want to be that guy.
Yeah, he wanted to plunder that booty.
I did. I plunder your booty. Swiggity swooty. And so I did for a long time. Then I went, when it was Wrath, I tried out Death Knight, but I kept on going back to this rogue, and I started trying to play a Warlock because my raiding guild wanted me to try it. And then that nailed onto my main, which is actually a Shadow Priest. And I'm hated for this Shadow Priest because they tend to be either really good or really poor.
Yeah, you see, I've had a priest ult for quite a while now. I had only leveled it up to about 98, and I'd left it for quite a while.
Was that when we started?
Yeah.
Yeah, Karg and...
Yeah, but I had to put an eye anyway. So then I actually then started trying to play Shadow for Legion. I am now 110 on that priest, but I probably am not going to touch it again. Like, Shadow is just...
nuts.
Well, I hated it.
Yeah.
Like, I used to absolutely love it.
Same.
Like, but I know I'm not the only one. Like, Starman has put, or Star Mike, whatever, from World of Warcraft, he detests it as well.
Do you know, it's been really tough because Cataclysm had this thing where you'd pull your dots up, keep your dots up, you get that really nice ramp, you've got nice survivability, and then you have this thing called Devouring Plague, which is like a sudden, oh my god, what the hell, blah, 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 blah. But then they started introducing this thing called Insanity, and one of my favourite things was PvP. In Legion, and I found it really tough because they started culling back CCs. I started getting channeled by warriors a lot, so any melee class was just dicking me over and just like, you know, bite the pillow, I'm going in dry. Every single battleground I went into, and it's really frustrating. But then it changes every day. So today I had such good luck with my rogue. I've been for the last few days trying to do this fucking challenge tower, and it's been driving me mad. I've been looking at all these guides. You know, the YouTube guides you go on, and someone's like, hi guys, this is my guide to Agatha. You know, I'm the best rogue that or something. Sometimes it's like my gear level's really, really low, but this is super easy, so you could do it. It's like my gear level's really high and I still suck.
Yeah,
I'm so crap at it. But
I mean, I accidentally wandered into the Mage Tower one time. Like, I honestly did not know what it was. There was this quest. I was like, oh, there's an exclamation mark. I'll go do that. I got my ass handed to me in 5 seconds. Like, this is as my protection warrior, where I normally cannot die.
That's just nuts. And so I tried these different things, and the thing was, you have to kill these imps, right?
Yeah.
And then you have to focus down the main ad. But all the imps have a very important role. So 2 of the imps will make the boss really, really, like, hench. Excuse me, that was that. The Zeitgeist was coming back up. And 2 of these imps will make it so that she's invulnerable. 1 imp will chase you around and explode so that the area's plagued. So if you walk through it, you slowly die over time, and you get slowed down. So you have to kill all these imps and then kill her and interrupt the imps, and then you have to interrupt her. There's so much shit going on. And then in the second phase, boulders start coming down from the ceiling. So you have to avoid the boulders, kill the imps, interrupt her when she's trying to kill you, and then kill her. And when they're all dead, that's when you proc all your cooldowns.
Yeah.
And yesterday I was getting so angry with it. I ended up then playing Overwatch and then getting angry at Overwatch, and then I went to bed. But yeah, I came back to it this morning, changed it to slice and dice, so you get like a better uptime with your swords are quicker, basically, and you gain more energy. And I crushed it the second time doing it. It was insane, absolutely insane. But yeah, that was such a journey, because it's the first time in a long time playing WoW where when I completed it, I felt genuine, like, oh my god, I fucking did this.
Yeah, I think that's what's been missing me from it for me. That's what has been missing from the game for me for a while. I haven't really found, like, there has been no purpose to it. I think I know the expansion's coming, so half of me is just like switched off. I actually do need to renew my subscription. It expires in like 12 hours or something ridiculous. But we'll see. I mean, so I've actually been playing a lot of Overwatch because of it. And actually, I've only been playing Overwatch for, I don't even know whether I've been playing for a year.
Overwatch has become a stable game of mine as well, and it's just so cool. Like, I've gotten into the Overwatch League heavily. We've both been playing it, and that's the thing. I remember when you started playing, because I played since beta. I played since beta. Look at me. Ooh, I remember when Bastion had a shield.
What?
And could only move.
Bastion had a shield.
I remember he could only move 180 degrees, so you could position yourself, have a shield in a corner, and go around and start shooting people. It's fucking nuts. But yeah, it was so different back then. And also, Riptide was amazing. You used to get 5-player kills with it just because no one knew what the hell was going on. No one knew what anything was going on. But tell me about this. You were telling me about Anna.
Oh, yeah.
You played her the other day.
So, this was actually the first thing this morning. So, I kind of had a bit of time before coming over here to record this. I was like, do you know what? I actually like playing support. So,
Same, dude.
Support or defense. So, I like Moira. I like Mercy. Obviously, Mercy is kind of the easy mode character to start off with.
Yeah.
That has changed quite a bit now.
No moth meta.
Yeah, exactly. But so I was playing Anna, and I really like the whole sniper thing. But I am not particularly good at aiming, so you can't get away with that with Anna. I didn't realize that Genji can deflect your sleep dart.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, right. So I haven't been playing relatively that long, but I was like, so what happened was we were running up to the point, trying to actually cap it, and which by the way we did win. And I fired my sleep dart at a Genji, like through my friendly Reinhardt, who had his shield up, he was protecting me, doing his job as a tank, which is surprising. And then suddenly he's just like fucking asleep on the floor. I'm like,
get up!
What?
Hammer down, hammer up!
Why? I wish I'd got the highlight from it. I stupidly closed the game and it updated. But it was literal complete confusion. And you could see it where I was just like looking up, looking at the floor with Reinhardt, looking up, looking at the floor. I was like, how? And then I checked, like, there's no Anna on the other team. Like, how is the Reinhardt asleep? Is this a bug? Like, what did I do?
Don't worry, guys, I got this. Catch Freckle!
Yeah. I was like, no! Shit. And it turns out that Genji does deflect the sleep dart, and it just happened to bounce off Genji into the Reinhardt. So yeah, my bad.
I think they actually in the PTR they've now reduced the radius that he can deflect, because I used to be able to kill Genji by chucking a concussion mine above his head when I'm playing Junkrat, and it'd usually either boop him away and then you can hit him again. This is before the concussion mine changed, where I don't just, I could just run around and just chuck it into a crowd and it'd hit everyone. Now you have to be really, really accurate with it, which I'm still good at because, hashtag Jake lol. But that's, it's good fun. Oh, yeah, no, Overwatch has become a big fascination, although I need to get into the next comp season. I'm always so worried about SR, about hitting gold every season, and this is the first season I've not hit gold because I've just not done anything.
Yeah.
Like, Tom didn't even do his placements. And I did my placements, but I got to like 19, 16, and I'm so close to gold, but I just didn't do anything. So I think I really want my golden baguette weapon. So I want to do that, because you get the shield with it as well.
Yeah, man.
And that's going to... I wonder if they're going to make Reinhardt's shield gold as well, because they're giving Brigitte her golden shield. They've got to give Reinhardt shield.
I mean, it would make sense. I don't really... so we were looking at this the other day, weren't we? We had like Junkrat up on the screen, so Jack has Junkrat's golden weapon, but not only is the kind of grenade launcher... Animal crackers. Is the grenade launcher golden? The trigger for the concussion mine is golden. The concussion mines are golden. The trap is everything is golden, including the fucking grenades. And yet, Reinhardt is just a hammer.
I mean, the hammer's massive, but he's got so much like gold glinty armor anyway, so it kind of gets lost, I feel.
Yeah.
It'd be nice even if he has like a special thing on his shield.
Yeah, but then as we know, they are... Is it Brigitte?
Baguette.
Baguette, yeah. But I think Baguette is just my favourite for her. By the way, I do love playing her.
Oh, yeah, she's so much fun.
But if they're going to change her shield so that it becomes golden along with her mace, I think it makes sense for Reinhardt to be as well.
I think what people were saying that I was reading on the forum yesterday about the shield was that they were saying, well, technically it's a weapon and they're golden weapons. So because the shield's also used as a weapon, that's why. Yeah. But even then, I'm kind of like, I'd love to see a Reinhardt gold shield, because loads of people, apparently Reinhardt's having a real bad time at the moment. But yeah, so I'm really, really enjoying Overwatch. And hopefully getting into next season. And when Anniversary comes around, I just want these summer games to come so I can play Lucio Ball again.
See, this is how little I've actually played Overwatch. I've never played Lucio Ball. I've heard of it.
It's like football, but using Lucio's boop.
Yeah.
So good.
Well, it's with a hog, isn't it? Basically, like
What's that?
You put like Roadhog in the middle of it, and you can use that's the ball, right?
Oh, that'd be so fun. No, it's just a big ball, and
Okay.
you literally boop the ball around to get it in the goal, and the goal's
Nice.
massive, and you can defend it. So usually have one person in defence, one person in the middle, and speed boost, and you've got like little things which give you little jump pads, so you can jump in the air and do like a volley into the goal.
So is it in its own special map? Is that what it is? Right, see?
Its own stadium.
Nice. See, this is again. So recently, I mean, so it's the 28th of April when we're recording this. So is it Uprising? No, not Uprising.
It is Uprising, but it's called Retribution.
Retribution. That's it.
Or Mission Archives.
Yeah, we've got a couple days to go on that. I have absolutely loved playing that.
It's been great fun.
I never actually did Uprising. I don't know whether it's because I wasn't playing yet, because I don't even think I've been playing for a year.
I don't think you did. And if you did, maybe it was something that we just didn't see.
Yeah. And so I played that as well. It's a lot harder than Retribution is.
Oh, yeah, it was. If you play the original characters, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I like to play Tracer a lot, but I'm actually not that great at aiming. So that's why. But yeah, it's good fun.
Pulse bomb, blink. Oh, it's on me. Bang.
Yeah. To stick yourself with the pulse bomb is kind of my favourite pastime. So yeah, okay. Any other kind of gamey stuff you want to talk about?
Yeah, I guess minorly. I got God of War today, but I've not played it yet, and I've heard such amazing things about it. So for a future podcast, I'm definitely going to be revisiting this to say what I think about God of War. But I know that Video Game Donkey did like a review on this. Loads of people have been saying it's absolutely crazy, 75 to 85%. It's about Kratos, the main character, is like a mortal in this game, and he's got a son. So loads of people are like, oh, it's going to be like The Last of Us when you have like, a man and looking after the daughter thing. But I want to see what the dynamic's like. Excuse me. But it's going to be really cool. And so I'm looking forward to it. But so far, the hype is real, but I've not played it yet, so I can't confirm said hype. Yeah,
I mean, I've seen a lot of the hype. It's funny, so I don't actually have a PS4, so I've got nothing to play it on anyway, but I did play the original one, and it was a lot of fun. I'd be interested to see how it goes. I've seen a lot of the stuff all over Reddit, this, that, and the other. Everybody seems to love it, which is damn good going for a relatively small studio, I think, isn't it? Like, they're not a big mainstream house like, I don't know, like EA, who are the devil, but anyway. So yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see what it's actually like, whether it lives up to the hype.
It will give you a sense of pride and accomplishment. That bloody thing, so tough.
I just will confess that I did actually buy Battlefront 2.
Yeah, you did, but then they've also fixed all the stuff now, so maybe it's better.
Fixed.
All right.
In inverted commas. They just took it out for a bit. It is back, I think. Honestly, I've only really played it for the campaign mode, which has been good. I've enjoyed it. I actually still haven't finished the second part of it. I would like them to add a lot more. It's good fun and it looks beautiful, but I wouldn't buy it full price. The reason I bought it was it was like 20 quid or something.
Yeah, so, you could do that. Yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah, all right. So shall we move on to future gazing?
Yeah, future gazing. So as we were saying, it's about anything that we want to do in the future. It's also going into space. Yes, future gazing, Ed. So Sean Connery in future gazing. Gazing. So, Ed, future gazing. What are you thinking of or hoping to do by maybe the next time we do a podcast, or what are you looking forward to doing in future?
So it's kind of what we're trying to do is kind of set ourselves a goal. Jacques kind of explained at the beginning, it could be literally anything that we're talking about here. So if you want to play get to know a certain character in Overwatch and get good at them, this, that, and the other, that could be it. But for me, it's actually kind of work-based. I do a lot of editing. I'd say about 70% of my time is actually editing videos, and then filming for the rest of it. But After Effects is a bit of one of the main bits of software I use, but I use maybe like 5% of it, for what it is. So my aim is to use a lot more of it. I've been working on actually learning new things with it, because
that's cool.
I can break apart a logo and animate it, this, that, and the other, but it may not look particularly sexy. So I've been doing a lot of tutorials.
Sex.
Yeah, exactly. It literally is that. Because there's a big difference between okay and fucking great.
Yes,
Like,
yeah, it is. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. We're like, yeah, it is.
Yeah, whereas
Hashtag
like
not a tutorial.
exactly, like everything is passable that I'm doing now, which is not good. Like that's the only thing holding me back really, in terms of editing. So I've started from the ground up with Adobe Illustrator as well, because building stuff in Illustrator makes it a lot easier to animate them in After Effects. It kind of technical. So my aim for next week is to kind of get some sexy titles built. In fact, I might even, just for the hell of it, use some of the stuff I've learned for animating like our logo. I mean, like I say, we probably aren't going to live stream this for a bit, but we will at some point. By the way, thank you to Morgan for doing our logo.
Yeah, Morgan Hilton, a friend of mine who does a lot of graphics design, fantastic web designer. We literally were like, hey, yeah, we finally got the name for the podcast, Slacker Studio. And he was like, has anyone made you a logo yet? And I was like, no, not yet, but, you know, we're going to go up to it. And I was literally thinking to myself, oh, probably, you know, I might talk to Morgan about it and say, hey, you know, an IOU. And it was like, oh, by the way, here's your logo. Yeah. And it was nuts because, you know, somebody could give you something like, I really like it, but maybe this will be tweaked. I looked at that, I was like, that's the fucking logo. That literally, it does encapsulate us in that sense.
Yeah.
It harkens back to Taverncast.
Yeah. I mean,
also,
hey, we did rip the beer of the show thing.
We did rip the beer of the show from Taverncast. It is our homage to them, and also it gives me an excuse to have a nice beer on a Saturday with a mate. So yes.
Yeah. So what is it you're intending to learn then?
So I want to do a few things. So 3D is my main passion, but at the moment at work, I'm mainly working in After Effects, oddly enough. So I mean, I've been working on jobs like Xbox, Subway, MasterCard, a lot of web stuff, a lot of, you know, TV bits. So I am working professionally using After Effects at the moment. I want to broaden my horizons and do more stuff in 3D. So I did a 3D job in MasterCard, and it was for this big football that I made. It's really cool. I think it went well, but I just want to do more 3D stuff because I find that I'm really enjoying doing After Effects, but I'm lacking doing 3D jobs at the moment, and I don't want to lose that skill set.
Yeah.
Because, you know, that's what I did at university, that's what I'm doing here. So it's kind of funny in a sort of way that I'm using After Effects all the time now as a compositing tool.
Yeah.
When actually I was trained on Nuke,
right,
and I was trained in Autodesk Maya and Photoshop for texturing. So I want to kind of get more into 3D, do it in my own time. But actually, doing 3D in things that aren't based for, say, normal 3D TV stuff. So we both got a course on Udemy for making games.
Yeah.
I'd love to use my 3D skills to actually create some game art.
Yeah.
So, like, I started trying to clean up a Junkrat tire that I found online, which was good, but so when you bring it into a 3D package, it's all in triangles, and I have to make it all squares. Package. I have to make it all squares. I then have to give it all textures, materials, make sure that all the stuff's right. And because I don't have the official model, I have to make it all from scratch, all the texture work from scratch, even because the modeling was done by someone else, or recreate it myself, but see how somebody else has made it, which is wonderful. But I like those little challenges, so I want to do a little bit more of that. And I think that's the main thing. I want to do a little bit more 3D and see where that goes. Yeah,
so just to kind of clear that up. So when we say 3D, we don't mean like if you go to the cinema and you watch a movie in 3D. That's kind of like stereoscopic 3D, like literal 3D models to then do this, that, and the other with.
Yeah. So 3D artisty bits. So whenever you see Overwatch, you know, Tracer's weapons, Riptire, Zarya's gun, which is sick, by the way. I highly suggest to anyone to get the Barbarian skin. It looks immaculate. Also, Dem thighs, though.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
yes.
Mother Russia, come take me. Communism is okay for that. Anyway, so, yeah.
I think I
think we're pretty much there.
Yeah, this has been... Obviously, the first episode, things will change. I don't even know whether we're going to have a proper intro built by the time this thing goes out. I'm working on a website, but we own everything. So I think the thing to say is that get in touch with us because we want to know what you guys have been up to. Is there something new you want to learn? What's your future gazing task? And how are you going to do it? How's it going? Like, seriously, it can be anything.
Yes.
Anything at all. I mean...
Well,
within reason. Like, we're going to have an explicit tag, but still.
Yeah, it's like, I want to climb the Eiffel Tower at night when there are no one around. It's like, well, good luck, but please wear a parachute.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, Ed's right. Anything that you're doing, because, I mean, you know, it kind of helps us a little bit. One of you guys like, hey, Jack, what did you do 3D-wise? Did you do nothing? You're an idiot. Why didn't you do it?
Yeah.
Or, just that'd be another future gazing thing. Why didn't I do it in that sense?
Yeah.
There's no stress behind it. But, please let us know what you think about the show, what you think we did well, what you think maybe we didn't do so well. Please don't be
Yeah, right.
But honestly, what you're also up to, we want to know. Just because it's awesome, and also if we can read something out, that'd be sick. Like if you're like, I'm gearing up for the London Marathon, which I think's just passed anyway. So GG.
Maybe not. Yeah,
something like that, and you're like, this is what I'm doing monthly to work up to it. I'm going to do a 5K because it's a start. I want to know that because that's awesome because that's a personal thing. But yeah, please do.
Yeah, absolutely. So the other thing is, if you have a favorite beer that you want us to try on the show, let us know what that is.
Yes,
I mean,
please.
we'll do our best to get it. We have a pretty good selection of stuff that we're going to be able to get hold of. And yeah, we'll wrap it up. So if you want to get in touch with us, we are on Twitter. We are at slackers_studio. Sadly, Slacker Studio is taken by a banned account. I am working on that. It might take a while. And any other links are in the show description. We do have a Discord, which is surprisingly empty because nobody's listened to us yet. But Discord is probably the best way to get hold of us. Just get at us, and all the links will be in the description.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you everybody for listening to our first hour-long show for the first episode. I don't know how we've managed to talk for this long.
Right, am I making up an outro then? Hang on, shit. So, hang on. I have to do something.
Please hold.
It's because I've got a plectrum in my hand. Thank you for listening to us. Thank you for listening to us. Outro. Outro, bitch! Excellent! Okay. Welcome to Slacker Studio, the place we go when we're slacking. I'm Jack.
And I'm Ed. Oh God, I've lost the intro. Where
Burp.
am I?
Way to make me look professional, Ed.
God damn.
Yes.